Senator, it is wildly offensive that you would accuse President Trump of not protecting American interest in our country.
Hearing was held in Washington, D.C. to question Attorney General Pam Bondi regarding President Trump's budget request for the Department of Justice. Senator Jeff Merkley questioned Bondi about foreign influence related to Trump's cryptocurrency ventures.
Senator, we're here to talk about the Department of Justice and my budget for the upcoming year.
Attorney General, I know that you avoided the same question on the House side, but what we know is that many folks who attended this dinner were buying those coins because they wanted to influence U.S. policy. We had Mr. Javier Selgas, the head of Freight Technology, Inc., who said, I bought $2 million of these coins. I plan to buy $20 million because I want a favor from the president to change the policy regarding freight from Mexico to the United States.
You know, there's a pretty simple rule in life. If you have nothing to hide, you don't have a problem answering questions. So when the top cop in the nation refuses to talk, not once, but over and over again, you have to start asking, what's really going on here?
I want to know if when the president held his dinner for 220 individuals who purchased the most of his meme coins, were there foreign interests attending that dinner?
The exchange became heated as Bondi defended the administration's actions and criticized the focus on the cryptocurrency issue instead of pressing law enforcement matters.
Senator, it is wildly offensive that you would accuse President Trump of not protecting American interest in our country when
it's important for the leader of the Justice Department of the United States to be very concerned about foreign influence, and I encourage you to take on that topic and not consider it an offense that those of us who are concerned here, Democrats and Republicans, want Americans to make American decisions, not foreign influence being bought through crypto coins.
They're not making America great. They're making you weaker, poorer, and sicker. You have to look at this mountain of evidence and ask yourself, maybe that's the point. Maybe they just want Americans to suffer.
Ms. Bondi, as you know, the Supreme Court in Trump versus United States held the president has absolute immunity to commit crimes in certain core areas of the president's responsibility. One of those core areas is the Justice Department. So all the more important that we have an Attorney General who has the independence, the strength, the intestinal fortitude to say no to the president when it is necessary. So my first set of questions has to do whether you have the independence to say no when you must say no. And you can say this is hypothetical, but it is not hypothetical. I'm asking you, sitting here today, whether you are aware of a factual predicate to investigate Liz Cheney.
Senator, no one has
Based on
asked
what you
me
know.
to investigate Liz Cheney. That is a
The
hypothetical.
president has called for it publicly. You are aware of that, aren't you?
No one has asked me to investigate
But the president
Liz.
has
We're
called,
also
the
worried about
president,
Liz Cheney,
the
Senator.
president has
You know what
called
we
for
should
this.
be worried about?
Ms. Bondi,
The
please
crime rate
answer
in
my
California
questions.
right now
You
is
are
through
aware,
the roof.
Ms. Bondi,
Your robberies
Ms.
are
Bondi,
87% higher than the national
my question
average.
is this.
That's what I
My
want to
question
be
is
focused
this.
on, Senator.
Do you have the
if I'm
power to
confirmed
say
as
no to the
Attorney
president?
General.
And
So let's try to connect the dots. Why would she do this? Is she trying to protect her boss? Is she trying to protect herself? Because let's be real, this isn't an accident. This is a deliberate strategy to run out the clock and avoid accountability.
what you're suggesting today by your non-answer is you don't have the independence to say no to the president. So let me ask you a different question. It also requires you, if you're going to be a good attorney general, to be able to tell hard truths to the president. So my questions now are, can you tell hard truths to the president? So let me start with an easy truth that you could speak to the president. Can you tell us, can you tell him that Donald Trump lost the 2020 election? Can you say that? Do you have the independence to say that? Do you have the gravitas, the stature, the intestinal fortitude to say, Donald Trump, you lost the 2020 election? Can you tell us that here today?
You have to wonder who she believes she works for. Is it you and me, the American people? Or is it the political party and the president who gave her the job? Her actions are telling a very clear story.
Senator, what I can tell you is I will never play politics. You're trying to engage me in a gotcha. I
No, I'm
won't
just
do it.
asking you a simple
I won't
question.
play
If you can
politics
speak truth,
with-
can you tell us whether there was massive fraud affecting the results of the 2020 election? Yes or no? Was
I
there or
can
was there
tell
not?
you what I saw when I went as
That's
an
not my,
advocate
that's
to
not
the
my
campaign.
question. So you can't answer that question. You can't speak that even easy truth to us, let alone to the president. So
And
let
here's why this isn't just some DC drama. This is about the rules. Are there two sets of them? One for the powerful people in charge who can ignore the law, and another one for you and me, where we have to follow every single rule or face the consequences?
All right, let me ask another question. You don't want to answer that. Let me ask
You were
another question.
censured by
It will
Congress, Senator, for
it will
comments just
also-
like this that
it
are
will
so reckless.
It will also be important for you to be able to preserve the records, the evidence of the department. Are you ready to commit that none of the evidence in the January 6th investigation will be destroyed under your watch?
Senator, I will follow the law. I will consult with ethical officials in the
Do you
department.
see any ethical basis to destroy evidence in the January 6th investigation?
This is how corruption takes root. Not always with bags of cash, but with the slow, steady erosion of trust and accountability. It's when the people in charge decide the rules don't apply to them anymore. And what we're seeing from Pam Bondi feels exactly like that.
Why can't you answer the question? Why can't you say, I commit to this committee, we will never destroy the evidence in the January 6th investigation? Why can't you give this committee and the American people that assurance?
Are you frightened because evidence was destroyed against President Trump that was false? Is that why you're
Why do
frightened
you
now?
have
I can't
difficulty?
believe this is even,
Why do you have difficulty answering that question?
I can't believe
Why do you
you're
have
asking such a
difficulty?
question.
Why do you have difficulty promising to preserve evidence at the Department of Justice? Why is that a difficult question?
I will follow the law.
So I'll leave you with this. When the person whose entire job is about finding the truth refuses to speak it, what does her silence tell you? Let me know what you think down in the comments. Just a quick note, all the clips you saw today were sourced from public news media, and we're committed to following all of YouTube's fair use guidelines for commentary and analysis. This conversation is the most important part of the channel, so if you want to keep it going, please hit that subscribe button and let me know your honest opinion in the comments below.